I was checking wedding invoices when Daniel called. Ethan, are you sitting down? I laughed. That sounds serious. Did you finally get arrested? Very funny. I have news. Good news. The best news. I leaned back in my chair. Then tell me. I'm getting married. For 3 seconds, I said nothing. Then I laughed so hard that I nearly dropped my phone. You? Married? Yes, me. Daniel, you've been single for 3 years. Who agreed to this? That's the surprise. I smiled. Wait, are you serious? Completely. That's incredible. Congratulations, brother. Thanks. And I want you there. Of course I'll be there. When is it? In a few weeks. A few weeks. You're getting married in a few weeks, and you're only telling me now. I wanted to make it special. I shook my head, still smiling. Daniel had been my best friend since college. We had shared cheap apartments, broken cars, bad jobs, and every stupid mistake 2 young men could make. I trusted him like family. Tell me her name, I said. There was a pause. Daniel. You'll find out. I laughed again. What kind of answer is that? A good one. No, a suspicious one. You know me. That's exactly why I'm suspicious. He chuckled. Just trust me. I always do. The words came out naturally. I had no reason to doubt them. Anyway, he said, I'm sending your invitation tonight. Great. I'll bring Sophia. Another pause. Yeah, Daniel said quietly. Bring her. Something about his voice bothered me. Everything okay? Of course. Why? You sounded strange. I'm just nervous. You? Nervous? Don't make fun of me. I'm definitely making fun of you. We laughed, and the strange feeling disappeared. After the call, I looked at the wedding plan spread across my desk. Sophia and I had been engaged for almost a year. Our wedding was supposed to happen soon, too. I had secretly been working on the final details because I wanted to surprise her with a small honeymoon after the ceremony. I smiled when I imagined her reaction. That evening, I called her. Hey, beautiful. Hey, you'll never guess what happened. What? Daniel is getting married. Silence. Sophia. Sorry, what did you say? Daniel is getting married. Another pause. Are you sure? I frowned. Why wouldn't I be? I didn't know. He said it's happening in a few weeks. That's strange. What's strange? I mean, he never mentioned a girlfriend. Apparently, he likes surprises. She gave a small laugh, but it sounded forced. Did he tell you who she is? She asked. No, that's the weird part. Maybe he's embarrassed. Sophia. What? Why do you sound nervous? I don't sound nervous. You do. I'm tired, Ethan. That's all. I wanted to believe her. Okay, I said. I'll let you sleep. Thank you. I love you. There was a pause before she answered. I love you too. The call ended. I stayed at my phone. Something was wrong. I tried to push the feeling away, but it stayed with me. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. Daniel. An image appeared. His wedding invitation. I opened it with a smile. Finally, I whispered. I read the groom's name first. Daniel Brooks. Then my eyes moved to the bride's name. My smile disappeared. My hands went cold. I read it again. Then a third time. There was no mistake. Daniel Brooks and Sophia Reed. I stopped breathing. My fiancée's name was printed beneath my best friend's. And suddenly, the wedding I had been planning no longer felt like my future. It felt like my funeral. I stayed at the screen, unable to understand it. Then I called Sophia. She answered after the 4th ring. Ethan, did you see what Daniel sent me? What did he send? The invitation. Her breathing changed. I haven't seen it. You're lying. I just saw your name. Silence. Sophia, say something. I can explain. My stomach dropped. Explain what? I didn't know he would send it tonight. I stood so quickly that my chair scraped the floor. Send what, Sophia? She started crying. Please, Ethan, let me explain. Are you marrying Daniel? I froze. Her voice broke. Yes. The word hit harder than anything I had ever heard. Since when? I'm sorry. That wasn't my question. I can't do this over the phone. Then where are you? She whispered, with Daniel. I ended the call. I understood how it felt to watch my future disappear in 1 minute. I drove straight to Sophia's apartment after Daniel's invitation destroyed everything I thought I knew. She opened the door and froze. Ethan, don't say my name like that. What are you doing here? You know exactly why I'm here. She looked away. I held up my phone. Explain this. It's not what you think. Then tell me what I should think. The invitation was a mistake. A mistake. Yes. Daniel sent me an invitation with your name printed as his bride. I know. And you're telling me it's a mistake. I didn't ask him to send it to you. That doesn't answer my question. She crossed her arms. You're making this bigger than it is. I stared at her. Bigger than it is. Ethan, calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. You're misunderstanding everything. Then explain it. She stayed silent. I felt my chest tighten. Were you with Daniel tonight? No. You told me you were. I was with him earlier. Why? We were talking. About your wedding. She looked at me sharply. There is no wedding. Then why is there an invitation? I told you. Daniel was joking. I almost laughed. A joke? Yes. Why would my best friend send me an invitation to his wedding as a joke? I don't know. You expect me to believe that. What do you want me to say? The truth. I'm telling you the truth. No, Sophia. You're protecting someone. She looked hurt. How can you accuse me like this? Because your name is on that invitation. I never agreed to marry Daniel. Then why did he put your name there? I don't know. Her voice broke, but something inside me still refused to believe her. My phone rang. Daniel. I answered. What did you do? I demanded. What are you talking about? The invitation. There was a nervous laugh. Oh, that. Ethan, it was a joke. You thought this was funny. I wanted to surprise you. You put Sophia's name on a wedding invitation. I was messing with you. Why? Because you always say I'll never settle down. I clench my fist. You expect me to believe that? Of course. Then why did Sophia know about the wedding? She didn't. She told me she was with you. Silence. Then Daniel said she was helping me with something. What? Wedding stuff. I closed my eyes. You just said there was no wedding. I meant there's no real wedding. Daniel, stop lying to me. I'm not lying. Then send me the real invitation. I will. Now. Ethan, you're acting crazy. I ended the call. Sophia whispered, you shouldn't have called him. I turned toward her. Why? Because you're making this worse. How? By refusing to trust me. I stared at her. I trusted you more than anyone. She looked down. Then trust me now. I wanted to. God, I wanted to believe her. But my mind kept replaying the invitation. I left without another word. When I reached home, Marcus was sitting in my living room. He looked at me. What happened? Nothing. Don't lie. I'm fine. You look like you just watched someone die. I dropped my keys onto the table. My fiancée's name was on my best friend's wedding invitation. Marcus stood immediately. What? I don't know what's happening. Did you confront them? Yes. And? They both say it was a joke. Marcus shook his head. Then don't do anything stupid. What am I supposed to do? Find proof. I have the invitation. You need more than that. I sat down. Marcus looked at me carefully. Think about the last few months. What about them? Anything strange? I remembered Sophia turning her phone face down whenever I entered the room. Then Daniel suddenly knowing details about our arguments. Then the nights they both disappeared. I whispered, there were things. What things? I thought they were nothing. Tell me. Sophia started hiding her phone. Marcus said nothing. Daniel started asking about our relationship. How often? Too often. And they disappeared together twice. Marcus stared at me. I opened an old photograph from our anniversary. Sophia had given me a bracelet that night. I zoomed in. My stomach dropped. Daniel was wearing the exact same bracelet. Marcus whispered, Ethan. I could barely breathe. It was never just my bracelet. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message appeared. You deserve to know what they did before the wedding. I stayed at it. Then another message arrived. Meet me tomorrow. Come alone. I looked at Marcus. Who is it? I don't know. Then don't meet them alone. I have to. Ethan, this could be a trap. Maybe. I saved the message and locked my phone. For the first time, I knew someone else knew the truth, and I was going to hear it. I met Ryan behind a quiet coffee shop the next morning. He was already waiting when I arrived. You came alone? Yes. Good. I wasn't sure you would. Your message said I deserved the truth. Ryan looked down. I said that because I can't keep lying for Daniel. What have you been hiding? He took a slow breath. Daniel has been different for months. Different how? Secretive. Angry. Obsessed with getting what he wants. What does that have to do with Sophia? Ryan looked at me for several seconds. You already know, don't you? I know enough to be terrified. He rubbed his forehead. I should have told you earlier. Then tell me now. I can't. Why? Because Daniel is my business partner, and I was your friend. That's exactly why this is difficult. I leaned closer. Ryan, my best friend is marrying my fiancée. I don't care about your business anymore. I need the truth. He finally pulled a small key from his pocket. Daniel keeps an old storage drive in his office. What's on it? I don't know everything. But I saw things I wasn't supposed to see. What things? Hotel bookings, restaurant receipts, photos. My heart started pounding. With Sophia. Ryan nodded. I stayed at him. How long? Months. How many? Too many. I looked away. Ryan continued. I copied some files before Daniel could erase them. You have them? Yes. Show me. He opened his laptop. The first file was a hotel reservation. Daniel Brooks. Sophia Reed. 2 nights. I stopped breathing. Maybe there's an explanation, I whispered. Ryan shook his head. Keep looking. The next file showed another hotel. Then another. Then restaurant reservations. Then photographs. Sophia is sitting across from Daniel. Sophia is smiling at him. Sophia holding his hand. I covered my mouth. No. Ryan said nothing. I opened another file. Messages. Daniel, he still trusts us. Sophia, he has no idea. Daniel, we need more time. Sophia, I know. My hand began shaking. Ryan whispered, Ethan, I'm sorry. I closed the laptop. Don't. I should have warned you. Why didn't you? I was scared. So was I. He looked at me. I thought Daniel was my brother. Ryan nodded. I know. I looked at the screen again, hoping I had misunderstood something. Ryan, tell me this is fake. I wish I could. Did Daniel know you copied these? No. Then keep them safe. I will. Because I may need everyone. He nodded. I closed the laptop and made myself stand. I stood. Where are you going? To Sophia. Ethan, think first. I've been thinking all night. I drove to Sophia's apartment and knocked hard. She opened the door. You're here again. I held up my phone. What is this? Her face changed. Where did you get that? So it's real. She said nothing. Answer me, Sophia. Ethan, please. No, you lied to me. I was confused. For how long? She looked away. 4 months. How many months? I don't know. You knew exactly what you were doing. I never planned to hurt you. You were sleeping with my best friend while planning our future. I didn't know what I wanted. You knew enough to hide it. She began crying. I loved you. Then why did you do this? Because Daniel gave me something you couldn't. I stared at her. What? A life I believed you could never give me. The words hurt more than the photographs. You mean money, security, confidence, a different future. I gave you everything I had. I know. And you still chose him. Yes. I swallowed the pain in my throat. When did it start? Before our engagement ended. My engagement. She closed her eyes. Before you proposed. I felt the room tilt. You were already with him. Not fully. That isn't an answer. I had feelings for him. And you still let me propose. I thought I could forget them. You thought you could marry me and forget my best friend. I was confused. No, Sophia. You were selfish. She reached for my hand. Please don't leave like this. I stepped back. You already left me. I can fix this. No, Ethan, please. I walked toward the door. Wait. I stopped but didn't turn around. Her voice became quiet. Daniel didn't steal me from you. I closed my eyes. What are you saying? I chose him. When? Before you even proposed. I finally turned around. She was crying. But this time, I felt nothing. I opened the door. You should have told me then. I was afraid. I was building a life with you. I know. No, Sophia. You knew. I walked away without asking her to stay. For the first time, I understood that the woman I loved had never been the woman I thought I knew. I reached my apartment before sunset, but it no longer felt like home. Sophia's coat was still hanging beside the door. I stayed at it. You won't be here much longer, I whispered. I walked into the bedroom and opened her closet. The first dress I pulled out reminded me of our first anniversary. I sat on the floor. How did I not see it? My voice sounded strange in the empty room. I started packing her things into boxes. Her books, her shoes, her photographs. Then I found the coffee mug she always used. I held it tightly. You said this was your favorite. I almost put it back. Instead, I wrapped it in paper. The engagement ring was harder. I opened the small box and stared at it. I bought this because I thought you were my future. My eyes burned. Then I heard the front door open. Ethan. My mother. I quickly wiped my face. Mom, what are you doing here? Marcus called me. I looked away. You shouldn't be alone. I'm fine. No, you're not. She walked closer and saw the boxes. You're packing her things. Yes. Do you want help? No. She sat beside me. Then tell me what you're feeling. I feel stupid. You are not stupid. I trusted them. That doesn't make you stupid. I defended Daniel for years. You loved him like a brother. I loved Sophia like she was my whole life. My mother reached for my hand. Then let yourself hurt. I don't want to. You don't get to choose that. I looked at the ring. What if I never trust anyone again? You will. How do you know? Because pain changes you, Ethan. It does not have to destroy you. I nodded, but I could not believe her. Then someone knocked. 3 hard knocks. I knew who it was. Daniel. My mother stood. Do you want me to stay? Yes. Daniel walked in when I opened the door. He looked at the boxes. So it's true. I stayed at him. What do you want? To talk. You should have talked before sleeping with my fiancée. His jaw tightened. Ethan, I didn't come here to fight. Then why are you here? I wanted you to hear it from me. Hear what? Sophia and I are getting married. My mother gasped. I laughed bitterly. You came into my home to announce that. We love each other. Stop. I'm serious. You were my best friend. I know. No, you don't. I didn't plan for this to happen. You planned plenty. Daniel stepped closer. You want the truth. Yes. I was tired of watching you take Sophia for granted. I stayed at him. You know nothing about what I did for her. You stopped appreciating her. I worked 2 jobs when she was sick. That was your choice. I paid her father's hospital bills. Daniel went silent. I canceled vacations because she needed money. I didn't know that. Exactly. You knew nothing. He looked angry. You think money makes you a better man. No, loyalty does. You had her, Ethan. She was never something I owned. She wanted more. Then she should have told me. She chose me. I felt something inside me finally break. You didn't just betray me. You stood beside me while planning to take my life apart. That's not fair. Faye. I pointed toward the boxes. This is what you call fair. I never asked you to lose everything. You took my future. I took nothing. You took the woman I loved. She chose me. And you accepted. Yes. I nodded slowly. Then our friendship ends here. Daniel stared at me. You'll regret this. I already regret trusting you. You'll regret losing Sophia. I opened the door. Get out. He stopped. You'll come back when you realize what you lost. I looked directly at him. No, I'll regret the years I wasted believing you were my brother. He walked out. My mother closed the door. I stood there, shaking. She whispered, "Are you okay?" No. Then my phone rang. It was Marcus. "Ethan, you need to check your email." Why? Just check it. I opened my laptop. A business notification appeared. I read it once. Then again. Daniel had taken control of the investment opportunity one had spent 2 years building. My hands went cold. He hadn't only taken Sophia. He had taken the future I built without her. And for the first time, I realized this betrayal had never been only about love. I stayed at the screen. Marcus, what happened? He filed the paperwork this morning. He had no right. I know. Then why does it show his name? Because he used information from your private files. My stomach turned. So this was planned. Marcus was silent. That silence told me everything. Daniel had been preparing for this while I was planning my wedding. He had not simply stolen my happiness. He had been quietly reaching for everything I had built, waiting for the perfect moment to take it. Now, he clearly showed me who he was. I stopped calling Sophia. I stopped calling Daniel. For the first time since the betrayal began, I stopped begging either of them for answers. Lena found me at my office the next morning. "You look terrible." I didn't sleep. Because of Sophia. Because of everything. She put a folder on my desk. "Then let's fix what we can." I looked at her. "What is that?" "Your business records." I thought Daniel took control of the investment. He did. How? That's what I'm trying to find out. I opened the folder. Lena pointed to several pages. These deals were changed before Daniel filed anything. I frowned. Changed by whom? That's the problem. I read the documents again. These signatures look familiar. They should. Why? Because you trusted Daniel with copies of your contracts. My stomach tightened. He used my information. Yes. I leaned back. So he planned this. Looks that way. I looked at Lena. Why are you helping me? Because you're my friend. I barely talk to anyone about my personal life. I know. Then why? Because watching someone destroy your life while you sit there blaming yourself is painful. I looked down. I keep thinking I should have seen it. You couldn't see what they were hiding. I should have. No, they should have told you the truth. I closed the folder. What do I do now? Fight. With what? Proof. That afternoon, Ryan met me again. "I found more records," he said. "How much?" "Enough to show Daniel used your private information." He handed me a drive. I stayed at it. "Did he access my files?" "Yes." "Can you prove it?" "Yes." I swallowed. "Why are you doing this?" "Because I stayed silent once. And now, I won't make that mistake twice." I looked at him. "Thank you." Ryan nodded. "You should talk to a lawyer." "I will." When I told Marcus everything, he immediately shook his head. "Do not go after Daniel emotionally." "I won't." "You sound angry." "I'm angry." "Good. But anger is not a plan." I nodded. "What would you do?" "I would build a case. Not revenge. Justice." His answer stayed with me. That night, I sat alone at my desk and opened every file. For 2 years, I had built my business from nothing. Now I had to build it again. The next morning, I started calling old clients. One answered, "Ethan, I heard what happened. I need another chance." "You're starting over." "Yes." "Then I'm listening." Another client said the same thing. Then another. By the end of the week, I had 3 new contracts. I smiled for the first time. Then my phone buzzed. A photograph. Daniel and Sophia. Engaged. The caption said, "Our forever begins." I stayed at it. Lena looked over. "Are you okay?" "Yes." "You don't have to pretend." "I'm not pretending." "You're really not going to react." "I already reacted." "How?" "I survived." She smiled. "That's better than revenge." I locked my phone. But the photograph spread everywhere. Friends called. People whispered. Everyone expected me to collapse. I kept working. Then Sophia called. I almost ignored it. Instead, I answered. "Hello." "Ethan." What do you want? I heard about your business. I'm handling it. You sound different. I'm different. She was quiet. Are you angry? I was. And now? Now I'm busy. Busy doing what? Building my life. She breathed slowly. I thought you would come back. Why? Because you always did. I closed my eyes. That was my mistake. I thought you still loved me. I did. And now? I love the person I'm becoming more. She started crying. Ethan, I made a mistake. You had months to stop. I was confused. You were certain enough to marry him. I thought you would fight for me. I did. When? Every day before you betrayed me. She said nothing. I continued. But I'm not fighting for someone who already chose another man. Then what am I supposed to do? Live with your choice. She whispered, I never thought you would let me go. I never thought you would make me. The call ended. I sat quietly. Then I looked at the folder beside me. I had lost my fiancée. I had lost my best friend. I had lost the business I spent years building. But I had not lost myself. That was the difference. I stood and looked through the office window. I'm not destroying them, I whispered. I'm rebuilding me. From that day forward, I stopped asking why they betrayed me. I started asking what I would become after it. And I finally knew my answer. My revenge would not be watching them fall. My revenge would be becoming impossible to destroy. I would rebuild everything they thought they had taken from me again. My business was finally breathing again. I opened the office early every morning and left after everyone else. Each new contract felt like proof that Daniel had not destroyed me. Lena walked in one morning carrying 2 coffees. You're here before me again. I own the office. That doesn't mean you have to sleep here. I'm rebuilding. She placed a coffee beside my laptop. You're doing better. I'm surviving. That's not the same thing. No, but it's close. She smiled. You know, you don't have to turn every conversation into a business meeting. I'm trying not to think about Sophia. Then don't. I'm trying. You don't need another relationship right now. I looked at her. I wasn't planning one. Good. Why? Because you're still carrying the last one. She was right. I trusted Lena, but I wasn't ready to love anyone again. Then Ryan called. Ethan, we have a problem. What happened? I found something inside Daniel's company records. Another deal. Worse. I stood. What is it? Daniel's company is losing money. How much? Enough to worry about. I frowned. Are you sure? I checked twice. Does Daniel know? I don't think so. How can he not know? He's too busy preparing for the wedding. I laughed without humor. So while he's planning a wedding, his company is falling apart. Pretty much. That evening, I saw Daniel and Sophia's engagement announcement online. Sophia wore a diamond ring. Daniel stood beside her, smiling. The caption said, Forever starts now. I stayed at the screen. Lena looked at me. You okay? Yes. You really mean that? Yes. She nodded. I'm proud of you. Why? Because 6 weeks ago, you would have called her. And now? Now you close the page. I shut my laptop. I don't want them anymore. Later that night, my phone rang. Sophia. I watched it ring. Then I answered. What do you want? I just wanted to hear your voice. You heard it. Ethan, please. I'm tired. I miss talking to you. You chose someone else. I know. Then talk to him. It's not the same. That isn't my problem. I only want closure. You had closure when you left. I didn't understand what I was losing. You had months to understand. I made a terrible mistake. You had hundreds of chances to stop. She began crying. Do you still love me? I closed my eyes. Yes. She went silent. But loving you doesn't mean allowing you to destroy me twice. I never wanted to destroy you. You did. I was confused. You were not confused every day. What do you mean? You had choices every morning. She whispered, I thought you would come back. I used to come back because I was afraid of losing you. And now? Now I'm afraid of losing myself. She cried harder. Can you ever forgive me? I already forgave you. Then why won't you take me back? Because forgiveness is not permission to hurt me again. She said nothing. I hope you find peace, Sophia. Ethan. I ended the call. For a long time, I stayed at the dark screen. I expected to feel guilt. Instead, I felt calm. The next afternoon, someone knocked on my office door. I looked up. Grace stood there. Daniel's sister. Grace. Can I come in? Of course. She sat down but kept looking at the floor. I almost didn't come. Why did you? Because I owe you the truth. I leaned forward. About Daniel. Yes. What happened? She swallowed. Daniel has been lying to almost everyone. I already know that. No, Ethan. You don't know the worst part. I felt my stomach tighten. What is the worst part? Grace looked directly at me. Daniel didn't want Sophia only because he loved her. I waited. Then why? She lowered her voice. He wanted something else. What? I don't know everything. Grace. I swear. Then tell me what you know. She took a breath. Daniel has been hiding a secret about why he wanted Sophia in the first place. I stared at her. What secret? She shook her head. That's what I'm trying to find out. My heart began pounding again. After everything I had survived, I thought I finally understood Daniel. But Grace's words made me realize I had only seen the beginning. What did he really want? Grace looked frightened. I think Sophia was never the final prize. I stood slowly. Then why was she so important? Grace looked toward the door. Because Daniel believed marrying her would open a door you didn't even know existed. What door? I can't tell you yet. Why? Because if I'm right, Daniel has been planning this for years. The room went silent. I felt the old anger returning. But this time, I was ready. Then help me find the truth. Grace nodded. I will. I met Grace at a cafe. You said Daniel wanted something more than Sophia. I did. What is it? Grace looked nervous. I need you to understand something first. What? Daniel has been jealous of you for years. I frowned. Jealous of me? Yes. Why? Because you built everything he wanted. I never thought of him that way. That's because you trusted him. I looked down. When did this start? Long before Sophia. Grace took a breath. Daniel struggled with his business. Every time he failed, you helped him. I thought that was what friends did. He didn't see it that way. What did he see? Competition. The word stayed in my mind. Then why Sophia? Because Daniel discovered something about your business. I leaned forward. What? Your company was about to receive a major investment. My stomach tightened. When? Months before Sophia left you. I stared at her. How did he know? You told him. I closed my eyes. I told him everything. I know. What did he want? Access. To my company. To the investment, the connections, everything that could come with it. I shook my head. He couldn't have taken control that easily. He knew that. Then why marry Sophia? Grace looked directly at me. Because Sophia gave him a doorway. A doorway to what? Your life. I felt sick. He thought marrying her would keep him close to you. And close to my business. Yes. So the affair was part of a plan. Not entirely. What does that mean? I think Daniel really developed feelings for Sophia. And she loved him. Yes. But he also saw what she could give him. I stayed at the table. Everything suddenly made sense. The questions. The private files. The strange meetings. The investment. Sophia. Daniel had been standing beside me while secretly measuring everything I owned. I whispered, he wasn't my brother. Grace lowered her eyes. I'm sorry. No, I needed the truth. She reached across the table. Ethan, don't let this destroy you. It already changed me. Then make sure it changes you for the better. I nodded. That afternoon, I went to Daniel's office. He looked up when I entered. What are you doing here? I know. His expression changed. Know what? About the investment. He stood. Who told you? Does it matter? Yes. You found out months before Sophia left me. Daniel said nothing. You used my private information. That's not what happened. Then tell me what happened. He laughed bitterly. You always think you're better than me. I never thought that. You had everything. I worked for it. So did I. Then why did you steal mine? I didn't steal anything. You used Sophia to get close to my business. His face hardened. She loved me. I know. And I loved her. I know. Then stop acting like I planned everything. Didn't you? He slammed his hand on the desk. You have no idea what it was like watching you succeed while I failed. I stayed quiet. You always had someone helping you. Your family. Your clients. Sophia. Everyone. So you decided to take them from me. I wanted what you had. You wanted my life. I wanted a chance. You had one. He stared at me. I gave you chances. You gave me pity. No, I gave you friendship. He looked away. I stepped closer. You betrayed me because you were jealous. You pushed me away. No, you made me feel worthless. That is not my responsibility. His jaw tightened. You think you're innocent. I made mistakes. Exactly. But my mistakes never gave you the right to betray me. He said nothing. I'm not here to fight. Then why are you here? To tell you what you lost. He laughed. What? My trust. His smile disappeared. You can replace money. You can rebuild a company. You can even find another woman. I looked at him. But you cannot buy back what I gave you freely. He whispered, Ethan, our friendship is over. I turned toward the door. He said, You'll regret this. I stopped. No. I looked back. The only thing I regret is trusting you for so long. I walked out. An hour later, my phone exploded with messages. Ryan called first. Ethan, turn on the news. Why? Daniel's company is collapsing. I opened the report. Fraud allegations. Misused records. Financial misconduct. My hands went still. Daniel's secret was now public, and the empire he built from my betrayal was beginning to fall. I watched Daniel's company collapse from a distance. For years, I had imagined his success beside mine. Now his name was everywhere for the wrong reasons. Ryan called me. Ethan, it's official. What? The investors pulled out. I sat back. And the board. Gone. What about Daniel? He lost control of everything. I stared at my desk. I expected satisfaction. Instead, I felt tired. He did this to himself, I said. I know. I don't want to celebrate it. You don't have to. By the end of the week, Daniel had lost his company, his reputation, and most of the people who once stood beside him. Then Sophia's family learned everything. Her father called me. Ethan, I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize for her choices. I should have seen something. I didn't. That's what hurts. What happened? We canceled the wedding. I closed my eyes. Are you sure? Yes. I told Sophia that I could not support a marriage built on betrayal. I thanked him, then ended the call. That evening, Sophia called. Can I see you? I don't think that's a good idea. Please. I hesitated. Where? The park. I agreed. When I arrived, she was sitting alone. She stood. You came. Yes. I didn't think you would. I'm not here to fight. She looked at me carefully. You're different. I had to become different. I lost everything. I know. My father canceled the wedding. I heard. Daniel lost his company. I heard that too. She wiped her eyes. I thought I was choosing a better life. You were choosing a different life. It was built on lies. I stayed quiet. She looked down. Did I really destroy you? For a while. I'm sorry. I know. Can you forgive me? I took a breath. I already have. Her eyes filled with tears. Then why can't we go back? Because forgiveness isn't returning to the past. I still love you. I know. Do you still love me? I looked at her for a long moment. I loved you more than I knew how to explain. She waited. Did you ever stop loving me? I swallowed. I stopped loving the version of you who never existed. She cried silently. I felt pain, but not anger. I wanted that woman to be real, I said. I built my future around her. I wanted to be her. You should have been honest. I was afraid. I know. Is there nothing I can do? No. She nodded slowly. I understand. Before she left, she turned back. Was I ever enough for you? I answered honestly. You were never something that needed to be enough. I loved you. That was my choice. She walked away. I watched her disappear between the trees. For the first time, I did not want to follow. The next morning, Daniel came to my office. I almost told him to leave. Instead, I said, sit. He looked exhausted. I came to apologize. I'm listening. I was jealous of you. I know. I hated watching you succeed. I know. I convinced myself you didn't deserve everything you had. I stayed silent. I thought taking Sophia would make me feel equal. Did it? He shook his head. No. What did it make you? Empty. I looked at him. You made your choice. I know. Why did you come here? To ask if there's any chance we can fix our friendship. I almost laughed. Daniel, friendship requires trust. I know. And I don't trust you. He lowered his head. I understand. I don't hate you. He looked up. You don't? No. Hate would keep me tied to you. He nodded. I'm sorry, Ethan. I believe you. He stood. Goodbye. Goodbye, Daniel. After he left, I sat alone. I thought I would feel victorious. I didn't. I felt free. Their downfall had not made me happy. It had simply shown me that I had been carrying blame that never belonged to me. Sophia made her choices. Daniel made his. I had made mine too. Mine was to survive. Mine was to rebuild. And mine was to walk away without becoming the kind of man they had forced me to hate. I closed my laptop and smiled. For the first time in months, tomorrow did not scare me. It belonged to me. I had lost the people I trusted most, but I had finally found the man I needed to trust, myself. That was the justice I wanted, and it was enough for me. Months later, my life felt nothing like the life I had lost. My business was stronger than ever. I had rebuilt the company slowly, one client and one long night at a time. Marcus still checked on me every week, and my mother no longer looked at me with worry whenever my phone rang. One evening, Marcus asked, "Are you finally happy?" I smiled. "I think I am." "You think?" "I'm still learning what happy feels like." He laughed. "That sounds like you. What does that mean?" "You used to think happiness meant having everything under control. And now you know better." He was right. I had learned that life could change in one phone call, one photograph, or one name printed on an invitation. But I had also learned that losing something did not mean losing myself. At home, I opened the drawer beside my bed. Inside was the old engagement ring. I picked up the small box and stared at it. Lena walked in carrying 2 coffees. "You're thinking about her again?" "Not really." "Then why are you holding the ring?" "Because it reminds me of who I was." "Who were you?" I smiled sadly. "A man who trusted everyone except himself." She sat beside me. "And who are you now?" "Someone who finally listens to his own heart." She looked at the box. "Are you going to throw it away?" "No." "Why?" "Because I don't need to destroy the past to move forward." Lena smiled. "I like that. I'm not keeping it because I want Sophia back." "I know. I'm keeping it because I survived what it represents." Lena nodded. Our friendship had slowly become something deeper, but neither of us rushed it. One evening, she asked, "Are you afraid?" "Of what?" "Of trusting someone again." I thought for a moment. "Yes, me too." I looked at her. "Then maybe we don't have to pretend we aren't." She smiled. "We can take our time." "That sounds good. I want something real." "So do I." Before I could say anything else, my phone buzzed. An email. The sender was Sophia. I stayed at the screen for several seconds. Lena asked, "Do you want to open it?" "I think I should." The message was short. "Ethan, I know I have no right to ask anything from you. I only wanted to say that I am sorry. I understand now that some mistakes cannot be undone. I thought I was choosing my future, but I was destroying someone who truly loved me. You deserved honesty. You deserve better. I hope one day you remember the good without carrying the pain. I will always regret what I did. Sophia." I read it twice. Then I closed the email. Lena watched me carefully. "How do you feel?" I waited for anger. Nothing came. No hatred. No sadness. No. What do you feel? I smiled. Peace. She reached for my hand. That's good. Yes. That night, I placed the letter inside the same box as the ring. Then I closed the lid. I did not need another answer from Sophia. I already had mine. For months, I had believed my greatest victory would be watching Daniel and Sophia lose everything. I was wrong. Their suffering had never been my victory. My victory was waking up every morning without needing them to regret what they had done. My victory was building a life they could never control. My victory was surviving them without becoming them. I walked outside and stood beneath the evening sky. The city looked different. Or maybe I was different. I thought about the man who had stared at that wedding invitation with shaking hands. He had believed his life was over. He had believed losing Sophia meant losing his future. He had been wrong. Sometimes, the person who breaks your heart also breaks the cage you are living inside. I had spent years building my life around other people's choices. Now, I was finally choosing for myself. Lena stepped outside, ready to go. I looked at her. Yeah. Where? Anyway. She laughed. That sounds dangerous. Maybe. I locked the door behind me. For the first time, I wasn't running from my past. I wasn't chasing revenge. I wasn't waiting for anyone to return. I was simply moving forward. I had not lost my future that day. I had finally become free to choose it. For the first time, I was not afraid of whatever came next in my life.